All right, all right, all right. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Lily's Lessons. OMG, I want to apologize. Hold on. Yeah, I want to apologize. Um, that I haven't been live. There's been some like really good stuff going on, which I will catch you up on. But before I do that, let me first introduce myself. I am Lily Washington, owner and founder of YB Limited. Hold on one second. Oh God, this stupid thing. Hold on. Why is it turning up when I'm turning it down? Stupid phone. Okay. Anyway, I'm Lily Washington of YB Limited. That's the letter Y, the letter B, the word limited. And you can also find me every night except on Sunday nights. Hey, Louis Cotinier. You can find me every night except on Sunday nights on the block with Jen. That's here on YouTube, okay? That is every night, well, during the week is 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on the weekends is at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. And I have the exciting news and why I've been away from you all. This is really exciting. So, on the block with Jen, which is Jen Garcia, and myself, we have a new show that will be premiering next week, which is called Sisterhood Sips. This show right here, you all, y'all not ready, but it's a girl show. It's like real girl talk, but gentlemen, you're welcome to watch as well. That will be here on YouTube once a week. You're definitely welcome to watch, but this is a no holds bar girl talk girl show. We're gonna be saying some real deep stuff. Okay, y'all not ready, but men, if you want to watch, it's gonna be like you being a fly on the wall. You know what I'm saying? But before I go any further, I definitely wanted to shout out who made these glasses. It's a Black-owned wife and wife couple out of New York, here in Harlem. It's called Exclusive Eyes New York. Exclusive Eyes New York. They are out of Harlem, New York. These glasses are fly. And I got another pair too. It's like a third eye, real deep. But without further ado, let me get into this topic, you all. Okay. Finding like being bald and things like that and being confident. I think people look at me now and just think that I came out the womb confident and assured myself and all of those good things. Let me tell you something. That could be further from the truth. I used to be so afraid of people and so afraid of what people thought. Very self-conscious and about a lot of things, okay, before we even get to the bald head. I used to be really self-conscious. And even before we get to the bald head, I used to actually have long hair. I had like long hair, a little bit past my shoulders before I cut it. I had little like skinny, cute locks and everything. They was real cute. And I don't miss them now, but in the beginning, I totally missed it. And then after that, I had like a real short haircut and everything like that. And then I went through the whole cancer situation, which led to me being bald and everything like that. But I'm gonna take y'all through that journey about, how I got to that place. But like I said, when I was younger, I didn't have I didn't realize if somebody would have told me that at this age I will feel this way about myself. And I mean, genuinely, like not that social media meme, like, oh, I'm so confident and I didn't. No, I'm talking about like really genuine feel this way about myself. I wouldn't have believed them, right? Because literally, legit, everything that I once disliked or even hated about myself the most are the things that I like the most about myself, right? And like I said, that's long before we get to the ball thing. Like that's even with being feminine. I've always been feminine. I didn't have the words to say that I was transgender, but we all know now I'm transgender, always been that way. And I was very self-conscious behind that. I love that today. And so the same thing goes with the bald head. This happened actually because back in 2014, I was diagnosed with cancer. And it wasn't like a long drawn out battle, but it's nonetheless cancer. I went through that situation and I had some wonderful friends and family to support me and things like that. I had surgery, went through a few treatments, and boom, I'm hairless, right? And at first I was like, ugh. And my ex at the time was like, That's gonna be your signature. That's gonna be your signature. And I was like, you supposed to say that. You sleeping in the bed next to me every night. He was like, nah, I mean, like for real. That's your signature. Like when you get through this situation, I don't even think you should grow it back. And I'm just like, okay, well, you're supposed to say that, you know? And, you know, during that time of me being bald, I actually started to grow on me. And I started noticing, like, wow, I'm getting way more compliments than when I had hair. So maybe he's on to something. And he was on to something because when I was done with the cancer situation, I was able to say, you know what? I want to keep my bald head. I kind of like it, right? And so thank you, Haran DeMarco. So that's what I did. I kept the bald head. And so what it did was it really took me back to a lot of things. And, you know, I have some really wonderful conversations with my friends. And that's where a lot of these lessons come from, right? They come from just me having these like back and forth exchanges with my friend. They also come from things that I think about when I'm doing On the Block with Jen. And it may not be something to bring up on that particular panel on that particular night, but like something that we may talk about may ignite something in me. And so I did a show, well, we did a show last night about a woman who was overweight, and she had like a list of demands and everything like that for what people what she expected the airlines and the travel industry to do, right? Like she was talking about making all the seats extra wide and making the plane extra wide and making the hallways in the hotel, like, you know, just a lot of extra wide expense. Okay. And I don't know where she was figuring the money was coming from, but she just wanted a lot of things, right? And so that led me to think, I was like, a lot of us, we we want to like make the world cater to us, right? And instead of just understanding and accepting where the world is. And I think that's where a lot of our pain and like irritability and discontent comes from, because people that just simply ain't doing what the fuck we want them to do. Problem is, people ain't gonna never do what you want them to do, right? And so I had to learn to not go by how things should be, right? Like I'm always, you know, we always like, man, they not supposed to be doing that. They should be doing this. You know, what they supposed to be doing is this. But what are they doing? Okay. What are they not doing? All right. That's what is right now. That's all we can deal with. Okay. So if you've known, let's say you've been with your significant other, right? And they are bad with money, right? You're like, well, they should be saving their money. Well, you've been with them 10 years. Has they been saving their money in the last 10 years? Well, they just bad with money. So now what do we do with this information, right? So it's the same thing with us. You know, I see people do things like that, like and even in the LGBTQ community, with me being trans, like I've never had the attitude where I felt like people is supposed to like me, love me, accept me. My rule is don't touch me, because really that's it. I mean, we can't stop people from liking something that they don't like, understanding something that they don't want to understand or that they don't want to like. People really have the right to be ignorant. Unfortunately, people are, you know, a lot of people are shallow. Some people choose to be ignorant, and honestly, there's nothing you can say or really do to change that unless they want to change it. The only thing that you have the power to change is you, right? And so I had to learn that hold on, the power lies in me, right? And I'm the only person that I have control over, right? I can't control of like what people do and say and stuff like that. Like that's just delusional. I was trying to find a like smarter and better word, you know, a little cute word to say, but it's delusional. That's what it is, you know. And so I look at things like that and I said, you know what? All this time I've been giving away my power to people who wouldn't like don't mean anything to me. And the thing is, when you give away your power to anybody or anything or any entity, you think they're giving it back? They're not giving it back. Like once you give someone your power, they're not giving it back. right? And what I mean by giving them your power is like giving them your emotions and stuff like that. Like you're lending your emotions to people who don't care about you and people that don't knock on your door every month on the first of the month. You're like, hey, listen, hey, Lily, we love how you've been conducting yourself this month. So we figure we're going to go ahead and pay your rent. And if you do better next month, we'll pay the gas bill too. That shit ain't happening. Okay. So until it happened, I won't even consider giving away a piece of my power any longer to anybody else. But that took a lot of work and a lot of digging inside to understand, you know, why I was allowing and stuff like that. And I had, like I said, I had really, really bad self-esteem issues because I wasn't the conventional at the time growing up. I wasn't like the conventional boy. I wasn't like my brother or my uncles or my dad. I wasn't like that, right? So I always felt like something was wrong with me, and I was secretly looking for some type of validation and acceptance and things like that. And so I did a lot of things outside of myself to try to find that, but I really ended up losing myself further because by doing that, I'm like, okay, well, people like this brand, so I'm going to wear this brand. And people, are doing this and wearing this hairstyle, so I'm going to wear this hairstyle, and to try to find some type of acceptance and stuff like that. And the reality is, it don't work. It don't work because people are going to be who they're going to be, right? So I did a lot of work, and I really dug into myself, right? Into I don't know. When I did that, I started to fall in love with the person that I met, right? When I was doing the work and just kind of digging into that. I talk about that a lot on here. And when I did that, I was like, wow, I'm kind of dope. And I really don't care who likes it or not because, the people who are supposed to be in my life, they're in my life. The people who's not supposed to be in my life, they're not going to be in my life, right? And so then that's when I started to practice, standing up with my head held high and walking outside and being my true self. And during that particular time, this was before the large LGBTQ community movement and stuff like that. I got ridiculed and mocked every single day, but I had already came to the conclusion that I wasn't going to give those people my power as long as I didn't feel like my safety was in jeopardy, right? And I do keep people around me that I can have those conversations, those vulnerable conversations when I when old insecurities pop up, right? Because no matter how much work you do, sometimes those old insecurities will pop up because I had them for the first 30 years of my life, before I started to really actively work on them. And I'm 42, so it's like 12 years of working on it versus 30 years of having the insecurities. It does take some time, right? But a lot of us may not be the conventional standard of beauty, or may not be the conventional person, like, what everyone likes. Like, just even with, let's just take being black, for instance. Like, when we're black, we got a black car, right? Imaginary black car, right? There's nothing like that black car where I can go in and buy some cute shoes, right? So it's certain things that, like, a lot of black people may not be like want to admit to liking, right? Like K Michelle, for instance, when she came out as as a singer and stuff like that, R&B singer and everything like that, very talented writer and R&B singer, she was like, I really want to sing country. This is what I really want to do. I put myself through school yodeling, right? Most people wouldn't expect that from a black person, but it's those type of people, when they stand up and they are different, they give people the license to, like, well, hold on, what is it about me I that's different, and or you may already know what it is, but you're afraid to express it. So I like to put out things like that. I like to be an example of that. Because I know what it's like. I know a lot of people like suffer in silence and feeling like they aren't able to be themselves and things like that. But the thing is, what I had to realize, when I wasn't being myself, who benefited from it for real? Like, who benefits from me not being myself? Meaning, do I benefit? Hell no, because I'm lying. I'm living a lie. So it tears at you, And does the person that I'm lying for benefit? No, because they never get to know the real me. So they don't benefit from getting to know the real me. So I had to look at it like this. I'm like, well, shit. If anybody gonna be, because what I was doing is like choosing to be uncomfortable so that other people could be comfortable. But then I really had to think about it, and I was like, well, shit. If anybody gonna be uncomfortable, it's gonna be you. Because I'll be damned if I'm going to continue to be uncomfortable. And so you have to be the uncomfortable one, right? And with doing that, what that does is um it just makes it makes people respect you more. And so I also did a couple of years ago, I did an article for Allure magazine. And when I was called to do it, I was like really honored. I was like, wow, because sometimes when you model, people ask, how do I get in these big magazines and stuff like that? And it varies, but a lot of times, you'll do a photo shoot with a photographer, and then the photographer will, submit their work to these magazines, and sometimes they get picked up. And so it's just, you get a placement pretty much, but there's like, most of the time, not even an article attached to it. Sometimes it is. And then those fortunate times where the magazines reach out to you. And I love that part because, they pay when they reach out to you. And so they reached out to my agent, and they were like, hey, we want to do an article on women who have lost their hair for whatever reason, whether it was cancer or alopecia or whatever, right? And I was like, wow, this is like right up my alley. So I did the article, and I think I'll post it on here on my community tab. Because it was a really nice article. It was me and two other ladies. And so then this is the funny part about it. This is a really good story. So I go to the shoot, and they had the writer, she was there, and I had the whole team, and it's given all of that, right? We're there 8 hours. I'm changing, taking off my clothes, changing, all of that stuff, doing the shoot. And the writer was just kind of there observing. So she let me know, and the other two girls know before we left, hey, I'm going to be reaching out to you within the next week or so to do the full official interview to go with this shoot. So I was like, okay, great. So she reaches out to me. We're having a conversation. She's asking questions. And I was saying, you know, prior to my transition, da 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 da. And so she stopped me. She was like, excuse me, I have a question. I was like, sure. She said, I noticed you said transition a couple of times. I just want to be clear on what you mean by that. I thought we was clear, but now this done become awkward. Okay. So you don't know what I mean by transition. She's like, yeah. I said, oh, okay. Yeah, awkward moment, right? I said it out loud actually. And she said, well, why? I said, because I thought you knew that I was transgender. And she was like, I didn't. And I was thinking, oh shit, I'm being taken out of the magazine. And so I said, well, is that a problem? And she was like, and while I'm asking this, that old insecurity is starting to rise up, but I'm also having that conversation, this quick conversation in my head that, whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen. It's no reflection on me, right? And she said, no, actually, this is even better. And I was like, oh, well, okay, well, that's cool. And she said, just a little disclosure. She says, I've been writing for Allure for quite some time. And she said, my mother is currently going through cancer, and she's on chemo, and she's lost all of her hair, and she is feeling very insecure about it. And I figured I would do an article like this with women who have, lost their hair, and their stories, their journey. And the fact that she said to me, the fact that you're a transgender and you choose to be bald after your chemo is even more so inspiring to my mother. Um, just because, typically a person when they transition, will put on a wig just to feel more feminine, and have more of a feminine look and things like that. And what's funny is, where I've landed at with that particular situation in my life now, I'm actually 110% more comfortable bald than I am with wigs. I do wigs just a little switch up and things like that because I'm an artist and I like to, switch things up and things. But um other than that, I'm really comfortable bald. So, I was honored to be a part of something like that where I can inspire other people through their journey. And when I do videos like this, I use one thing as an example to prove a point or to bring the point home. And today, I use baldness and things like that and coming into grips with that. But it goes beyond it. Like this could be used for anything in life, right? Um, about not giving your power to people, right? Because it's just pointless at the end of the day. It's pointless. For what? Like, what do you get out of it? Right? So I also wanted to, for anyone out there who is bald, male or female, whether they're suffering from alopecia, whether it's by choice, I always get this number one question. They were like, how do you keep your head so smooth? Right. And I'm like, oh, when it's yours or whatever, you don't really notice anything. And so what I'm going to do before I end this video, I'm going to kind of give you a couple of my secrets because there is kind of a secret to how I keep my head so smooth, because whenever I skip any of these steps, I tend to get bumps, right? I actually do get ingrown hairs and stuff like that. So I developed a method so that I don't get those ingrown hairs and my skin is smooth, it's even toned and things like that. And I think one day I'm going to actually do a whole video and just show you. But for right now, I'm going to tell you what it is. And if you want to see the full video, put it down in the comment section that you want to see the full video, let me know. But hey, Dolores, love you, boo. But this is what I do. Okay. So boom. First things first, I actually shave my head every day or every other day. Reason being is because naturally I have coarse hair. I got that 4C. Okay. So if I wasn't bald and I would have, like I said, I had some locks or whatever, but I either have a fro or locks and stuff like that. So I got that 4C hair. So when you have coarse hair, sometimes it's your actual own hair coming through the follicles that breaks you out and causes the ingrown hair. So I learned that when I shave often, it keeps that from happening. So either I shave every day or every other day. The other thing I use right after I shave is this this formula called Bump Patrol. You can usually find it at like a beauty supply store or Amazon or something like that. I call it cracking the bottle because listen, that stuff really, 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 really works. And then my secret sauce, and this is really secret sauce, I actually make my own mask, right? So I actually make my own scrub and my own mask. And so weekly, I do a scrub and a mask on my face and on my head. So when you see me do my face mask is going to come all the way back to the back of my neck. Okay. Now, what that does is exfoliates and just gets all the dead, skin and all of that so that your pores and everything can breathe. But like I said, I make my mask from scratch. I make my Haran. You know about the Bump Patrol, Haran? That's cracking the bottle. What? So I make my mask and my scrub. I actually used to sell it. It was under YBL Skincare. And during the pandemic, I stopped selling it because, the only thing that I was relying on that was outsourced was the packaging. And it was impossible to get any more packaging from China, right? And so I didn't want any more back orders. So I went ahead and just what do you call it? I stopped doing it. And I said, I'll bring it back. But then after that, my life became super, super busy and I haven't brought it back. But my friends, they still insist and make me sell it to them. All right. So if there's somebody out there, if you want me to sell it to you or whatever, just let me know in the comment section. I got you. I'll whip you up some. I'll dash some little love in it. Okay. A lot of love, because I love y'all. And I'll get it out to you. But that's what I do. I do that. Shave once a day or every other day. Bump Patrol, cracking a bottle, and I do my scrub and my mask once a week. And that's how I keep it smooth and bump free. So yeah, so that's today's lesson. Like I said, we got some good stuff coming up. On the Block with Jen is every night except Sundays, The weekdays from Monday through Thursday is 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on Fridays and Saturdays, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we have Sisterhood Sips that premieres next week, also on YouTube. So go to that page, Sisterhood Sips. And sisterhood is spelled with a C, okay? Like cisgender. Sisterhood is spelled with a C. And it's here on YouTube. We have a show that's going to be coming out once a week. It is Girl Talk. And if you guys, you're going to learn a lot. So the guys, you might want to watch this because y'all going to learn a lot, okay? It's stuff. Me and Jen are talking about things that maybe topics that a lot of people are talking about, but we are confident they're not talking about it in the way that we're talking about it. So definitely check that out. And before you leave, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment if you're watching a playback, because that really helps to keep me in the algorithm. I definitely, appreciate everyone's support. And I will be back again next week with another Lili's lesson. I'm going to give you 2 next week, okay? I was only able to give you 1 this week because I was out in Vegas with Jen filming the show. We filmed 4 episodes for you all already, okay? Oh, and let me give you a little taste of what the first episode is about, because y'all ain't ready. Since you want to know, because I just said, like we talk about stuff that nobody else is talking about. So I'm going to give you a little sample. Okay. Hey, Khalifa, how did you miss today? Oh my God. I love you. Okay. So I'm going to give you a little sneak peek about what the first episode of Sisterhood Sips is about. Okay. The title of the first episode is A Transgender Stole My Man. It's based on a true story. Whose true story, you ask? Jen and I. We found out we were dating the same man. I just had to put that in. I just want to be dramatic. I'm a Pisces, okay? Forgive me. Or don't. But still, And yeah, we go through that. Now, what's funny is he's a high profile celebrity. And what's even more funny is when we found out, it's been a while for Jen and I. So he really means nothing to us, to the point we didn't even compare notes. We just kind of giggled and laughed about it, like, oh my God, that's crazy, blah, blah, blah. But on the show, for the first time, we go into detail and we compare notes. Yeah, it's juicy. Yeah, Khalifa, it's juicy. So y'all definitely have to tune in, and we don't let you all down, because the next 3 episodes that come after that are just as cool, as fun, entertaining, educational, all of that stuff. Oh, I see you trying it, Khalifa. Not today, talking about something. I should have been putting these daggone, hold on, because y'all are funny. Height, nationality, occupation. You got to watch the show. You got to watch the show. Listen, Dolores, it was a lot. It was like, y'all not ready. Let me tell you, our producers, while they were watching us recorded, they were sitting there like, taking notes. They were literally taking notes, comparing notes, trying to. It was a lot. It was a lot, you all. Yep. Hey, YouTube press. He says, I'm begging you and Jen. He said, don't edit an episode about me. Yes. Okay. We got to tell all your team, YouTube press. So yeah, that's what the tea is for this particular week of Lili's lessons. Like I said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment if you're watching the playback. I love you all. And listen, we're all going to make mistakes. The goal is to make some new mistakes, okay? So when you make some mistakes, put down the bat. Don't beat yourself with a bat. Pick up a feather, okay? Instead of beating yourself with a bat, beat yourself with a feather. Okay, learn whatever you need to learn and keep it moving, all right? So until next time, always remember to ask yourself, what? Why be limited? Bye-bye.